The battlefield was quiet now, but the silence was heavy. Smoke and fire lingered in the air, painting the horizon in shades of red and gray. Twisted metal of destroyed ships and broken machinery littered the surface of the planet. The war was over, or so everyone thought. Survivors crawled from the wreckage, but one figure moved slower than the others. A lone alien princess, her armor scorched and her body bruised, lay half-conscious on the ground. Her own people had abandoned her, leaving her to die where she fell. They whispered that she had failed them, that she was weak, that she was no longer worthy. Commander Alex Rivers observed the scene from the edge of a rocky hill, his gaze sharp even in the dim light. His ship hovered quietly above the battlefield, engines low so as not to draw attention. The humans had stayed on the outskirts, watching the battle unfold from a distance. They had helped minimally, careful not to interfere too much in alien politics. But Alex's eyes were fixed on the fallen figure below. "She's still alive," he said quietly to himself. His voice carried a weight that no one around him could ignore. Lieutenant Maurice, his second-in-command, leaned over. "Alex, we can't. Her people left her. They don't care. If we go in, we risk our lives for a stranger." Alex shook his head. "She's not just a stranger, she's a living being. If we leave her, she'll die. And we can't do that, not because of politics, because it's right." Maurice frowned, hesitating. "It's dangerous. There are still patrols, drones, mines. Even the battlefield isn't safe anymore." Alex's eyes didn't leave the princess. "I know, but I've never been the type to turn my back when someone needs help." He activated his communicator. "Prepare the rescue shuttle, we're going in." The shuttle moved silently, descending toward the battlefield with careful precision. Smoke swirled around it, and sparks from broken machinery crackled in the distance. Every second counted. The princess's breathing was shallow, her chest rising and falling with difficulty. She muttered something under her breath, words Alex couldn't understand, but her pain was clear. Alex landed the shuttle a few meters from her, the engines cutting off just as he stepped onto the scorched earth. The heat from fires still burning nearby made the air thick, but he ignored it. His focus was on her. The princess tried to move but collapsed with a soft groan. Her armor had been torn and cuts streaked across her pale blue skin. Her hair was tangled and streaked with dirt and blood. Alex knelt beside her, checking her injuries quickly but carefully. "You're going to be okay," he said calmly, though his heart raced. "I'm taking you out of here." The princess's eyes opened, revealing a sharp violet glow. Fear and suspicion shone in them. Why are you helping me?" she asked in broken common, her alien voice trembling. "Your kind, they always kill or take." Alex smiled faintly. "Not all humans are the same. Some of us care about life." Her eyes narrowed. "Life. I am worthless to my people. Why would yours care?" Alex's hands moved quickly, securing her to a stretcher-like device he carried with him. "Because life itself matters, not politics, not power, just life." He lifted her carefully and carried her to the shuttle. Each step was measured, avoiding the wreckage that littered the ground. Drones hovered nearby, scanning for survivors, and Alex ducked behind debris when one passed too close. The princess watched him closely, her fear slowly shifting to confusion. "You are different," she whispered. Alex glanced at her. "Different how?" "You risk everything for someone who is supposed to die. That is not common." Alex chuckled softly. "Maybe it should be." They reached the shuttle and Alex placed her inside gently. Maurice ran over to assist, her eyes wide. "Alex, you really are risking everything. Are you sure about this?" Alex nodded. "Positive. She deserves a chance. That's enough reason for me." Inside the shuttle, Alex worked quickly to stabilize her. He scanned her wounds, adjusted his medical devices, and applied healing patches where needed. The princess winced but did not resist. She was too weak to fight him, and perhaps part of her wanted to survive. "You humans," she murmured after a while, "you are strange." "Strange can be good," Alex replied. "Sometimes being strange saves lives." The princess let out a small, almost imperceptible laugh. It was the first sound of humor or relief she had made in hours. Alex smiled at her reaction. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors beeped urgently. Enemy drones had detected movement. Alex's hands tightened on the controls. "Hold on, we've got company." The shuttle took off swiftly, navigating through smoke and debris. The princess gripped the sides, fear returning to her eyes. They will kill us." "They won't," Alex said firmly. "Not if I can help it." He maneuvered the shuttle with skill, weaving between wreckage and low-flying fireballs from distant explosions. The princess watched him, astonished. His calm under pressure, his quick thinking, it was unlike anything she had seen from her own people. "Your people," she said cautiously, "they would not do this. They would leave someone to die without hesitation." Alex shook his head. "Different cultures have different rules. But that doesn't mean they're right." Hours passed as they traveled to a safer location. The princess began to relax slightly, though her body ached from her injuries. Alex monitored her vitals, speaking softly to keep her calm. "You saved me," she said quietly, almost in disbelief. Why not leave me?" Alex looked at her with steady eyes. "Because I can. Because someone has to make the choice to do what's right, even if it's hard. Life is worth saving. That's all the reason I need." She considered his words, her mind struggling to understand. Her people valued strength and power, not mercy. To see someone risk everything for her, it was almost unimaginable. The shuttle finally landed on a small, neutral planet. Its surface was rocky, with sparse vegetation and small streams of water. Alex carried her out carefully, laying her down on a soft bed he had prepared. The princess shivered and he wrapped her in a warm blanket. "You'll be safe here," Alex said. "No one will find you." She looked at him, eyes filled with a mix of fear and awe. "Safe because of you?" "Yes," he said simply, "because humans can make choices that others won't. We can decide to protect life no matter the cost." For the first time, the princess felt a flicker of hope. She realized that maybe not all beings in the galaxy were cruel or selfish. Some could be brave, compassionate, and human. Alex set up medical devices to monitor her recovery, giving her medicine and nourishment. He stayed nearby, watching over her as she slept. In her dreams, she saw flashes of humans helping each other, saving lives, risking everything for strangers. It was a new perspective, one that made her question everything she had believed. Days passed and the princess grew stronger. She began to trust Alex, though cautiously. She watched how he interacted with his crew, how he made difficult decisions, how he valued life in ways her people never had. "You are not like anyone I have known," she said one evening, her voice soft. "You're kind, maybe you are the future." Alex smiled faintly. "We try. That's all any of us can do." But danger was never far away. Enemy scouts were still searching for survivors, and Alex knew they had to remain vigilant. He trained the princess to recognize threats, taught her how to move quietly, how to use basic defense tools if necessary. She was reluctant at first, but she saw his logic. Survival required preparation, even for someone she had thought was helpless. One night, while the princess slept, the shuttle's sensors beeped urgently. Alex scanned the readings. Enemy patrols were closing in, far faster than expected. He looked at the sleeping figure beside him and felt a surge of determination. "They thought they could leave you to die," he whispered. "But they were wrong. I won't let them win." He prepared the shuttle for a quick escape, double-checking the medical devices and the princess's restraints to ensure she would be safe. As the enemy ships approached, Alex's heart raced, but his mind stayed clear. He had faced impossible odds before, and he would face them again. When the enemy ships arrived, Alex maneuvered with skill, avoiding detection and outsmarting the pursuers. The princess woke, eyes wide, and saw him risk everything without hesitation. She realized that humans could be brave in ways her people never dreamed of. You really will not leave me," she said, a mixture of relief and wonder in her voice. "Never," Alex replied. Not if I can help it. As they escaped into the darkness of space, the princess watched the stars and thought about the human beside her. He was strange, fearless, compassionate, and clever. Perhaps the galaxy had underestimated humans all along. She drifted into sleep, safe for now, but her mind buzzing with questions. Who were these humans? Why did they care so much? And what did it mean for the future of her people? Alex glanced at her, determination in his eyes. He had saved her once, but the challenges ahead were greater. She had enemies, powerful enemies, and her survival depended on more than courage. It depended on trust, ingenuity, and the strength of the human spirit. But Alex was ready, for he knew that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, humans had a way of shining, sometimes in ways others could not understand. And he would make sure that this princess, left behind by her own people, would live to see that light. The neutral planet below them was quiet now, its rocky surface bathed in the soft glow of twin moons. Commander Alex Rivers kept the shuttle hovering low, careful to avoid detection. The alien princess, Liara, had begun to regain her strength. Her wounds were healing, her breathing steadier, and her eyes, once filled with fear and distrust, now held a cautious curiosity about the human who had risked everything for her. For days, Alex had watched over her, explaining the basics of human behavior, teaching her about survival in unfamiliar environments, and showing her how humans valued life in ways her people rarely did. Liara listened, her violet eyes wide, absorbing the lessons like a student fascinated by a new language. "You really are different from anyone I've ever met," she said quietly, one evening as they camped on the rocky plains. The fires from their portable stove cast flickering shadows across her face. Alex smiled faintly. "I hope that's a good thing." "It is," she replied almost hesitantly. "Back home, the weak are left to die. The strong take what they can, and mercy is considered foolish. But you choose differently. You fight for life even when it is dangerous or inconvenient." Alex nodded. "That's humans for you. Sometimes we're reckless. Sometimes we're brave, but most of the time we try to do what's right no matter the cost." Liara considered this, then turned away, gazing at the horizon. "And what happens when your right conflicts with another right? When the strong demand my death?" Alex's jaw tightened. "Then we survive. We find another way. That's what humans do. We adapt, we endure, and we protect those who cannot protect themselves." Her gaze returned to him, a spark of something resembling respect shining in her eyes. She had seen many warriors in her life, many leaders, and yet none had displayed the quiet determination Alex did. His strength was not in weapons or numbers, but in his will to act for what he believed in. Their days passed cautiously. Alex taught Liara how to move silently through the rocky terrain, how to avoid dangerous animals, and how to recognize subtle signs of enemy patrols. She learned quickly, her sharp mind absorbing the lessons with impressive speed. But more importantly, she began to understand the heart of humanity, the compassion, the cleverness, the determination to survive while preserving life. One morning, as dawn painted the sky with soft gold and pink, Alex looked over their small camp. Liara was standing near a stream, testing the water with her hand. She turned to him, expression serious. "I have enemies," she said softly. "Those who abandon me will not stop. They will come for me eventually. You cannot protect me forever." Alex considered this. "I don't intend to protect you forever, but I will make sure you have the tools to survive until you are strong enough to defend yourself." That's how humans fight. They prepare for the future, not just the present. Liara's violet eyes flickered with a mixture of gratitude and disbelief. "I am learning, slowly. Your ways are strange but effective." Their quiet conversation was interrupted by the sudden beep of the shuttle's sensors. Alex stiffened, moving quickly to the control panel. A small fleet of enemy scout ships was heading toward their location. The readings were precise. These ships were fast, advanced, and numerous. "They've found us," Alex said, tension in his voice. Liara's eyes widened. They will kill us." "Not if we stay smart," Alex replied. "We can outthink them, outmaneuver them, and escape. But you need to trust me and yourself." Liara swallowed, then nodded. "I will." Alex guided her back to the shuttle. As they approached, he explained the plan. "We're not going to fight them head-on. We'll use the terrain, the storms, and the canyon systems to our advantage. You watch my moves and learn. This is how humans survive." The enemy ships descended, scanning the planet for heat signatures. Alex piloted the shuttle carefully, weaving between rocky outcrops and using the planet's natural fog to hide their presence. Liara clung to the seat, her mind racing, but she trusted Alex completely. She had no other choice, and a part of her no longer wanted one. Hours passed as they navigated the dangerous terrain. The enemy fleet followed, but Alex's knowledge of tactics and strategy kept them out of harm's way. He found hidden valleys, narrow canyons, and underground passages that offered brief respite from detection. "You are clever," Liara said, her voice filled with awe. "I have never seen someone outsmart so many at once." Alex shrugged, though a faint smile tugged at his lips. "Experience. Humans learn quickly when our lives are at stake, and we don't give up easily." Night fell and the planet's twin moons cast silver light over the rocky plains. Alex set up a temporary camp, keeping the shuttle hidden and powering its systems minimally. Liara watched him move, observing everything he did. "Your kind values life differently," she said. "I see it now, not just in words but in actions. You risk yourself for others even when there is no gain. That is remarkable." Alex paused, looking at her. "It's not always easy. Sometimes people die despite our best efforts, but we try anyway. Because trying is what makes life worth saving." Liara nodded slowly. She thought of her people, ruthless and calculating, who would have left her to die without hesitation. Humans, she realized, were not perfect. But they had a spark she had never seen before, a spark that could change the galaxy. The next day, as they prepared to move again, Alex noticed subtle signs in the terrain: broken branches, scuffed rocks, faint tracks. Enemy scouts were close. He whispered to Liara, "Stay calm. Move only when I tell you. Watch and learn." They navigated carefully, Alex teaching Liara how to blend into the environment, how to anticipate threats, and how to move silently. Each lesson was not just about survival, but about understanding human ingenuity. She marveled at how he used simple tools, quick thinking, and logic to turn impossible situations into advantages. Hours later, they reached a cliff overlooking a wide valley. Below, the enemy scouts were searching for them, confused by false trails and clever decoys Alex had set earlier. Liara gasped at the sight. You misled them all," Alex nodded. "Humans are clever that way. We use our minds as weapons, not just our strength." Liara watched him, feeling a mixture of respect, admiration, and something she couldn't quite name. He was unlike anyone she had ever met, and she realized that humans were far more than their physical abilities. Their courage, intelligence, and compassion were equally formidable. Suddenly, one scout ship detected them. Alex's eyes sharpened. "Time to move," he said, guiding the shuttle down the cliffside. The descent was treacherous, but Alex's control was precise. Liara held on tightly, her heart pounding with fear and excitement. They landed in a hidden canyon, taking shelter in natural caves. Alex checked Liara's condition. "You're doing well," he said. "But remember, survival isn't just about hiding. It's about knowing when to fight, when to run, and when to protect life above all else." Liara listened, absorbing every word. She had begun to see humans not just as strange creatures, but as a species capable of extraordinary deeds. Their morality, their ingenuity, and their courage were lessons she would carry back to her people. Days turned into nights, and the enemy fleet eventually gave up the search, frustrated by their inability to locate the princess. Liara had grown stronger, her wounds healed, and her trust in Alex and humans had deepened. One evening, as they sat beside a small fire, Liara looked at him thoughtfully. "You saved me, not because of duty, not because of reward, but because it was right. I do not understand fully, but I see now that life is more valuable than power." Alex smiled softly. "That's all anyone can ask. You survived. That's what matters." Liara's eyes glimmered with a new determination. "I will return to my people. And when I do, I will show them that humans are different. That life can be valued beyond strength and power. That hope exists." Alex nodded. "And when you do, remember what you've learned. Use it wisely. And maybe one day, humans and your people can work together, not against each other." Liara's lips curved into a small smile. "I will remember." The shuttle hummed quietly, powered down for the night. Alex watched the stars above, thinking of the battles yet to come, the challenges that awaited in the galaxy, and the bond formed between a human and an alien princess. It was more than survival. It was proof that courage, intelligence, and compassion could bridge worlds. As Liara slept, Alex reflected on what had happened. He had saved her life, yes, but he had also shown her something far greater, that humanity, even in a harsh and dangerous universe, could shine. Not through domination, not through fear, but through empathy, ingenuity, and bravery. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, Liara's people would one day see it too. Perhaps they would change. Perhaps humans would become allies, teachers, and friends. The galaxy was wide and the possibilities were endless. For now, Alex rested, keeping a vigilant watch. He had rescued a princess left behind, outwitted their pursuers, and taught an alien the value of human courage and morality. It was not just a victory for one life. It was a victory for the spirit of humanity itself. And somewhere deep in the heart of Liara, the princess who had been abandoned and left for dead, a new understanding had taken root. Humans were unpredictable, perhaps reckless, but their hearts and minds carried a strength that could change the universe. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and uncertain, but as long as humans chose to act with courage and compassion, there was hope. And sometimes, all it took was one human to show another being the value of life and the limitless potential of the human spirit.